Welcome back to the 3 Point Show. It's your host with the most, Michael, also known as Michael. And I'm here with a South East London legend when it comes to this politics thing, when it comes to this activist thing, not on the feature thing. We've got my man Fawaz in the building. How you doing, Fawaz? You good, yeah?
I'm all right, bro. How are you?
I'm sweet. I thought, obviously, two black men, I only think it's right in this climate that we talk with everything that's going on. We do talk about what's the impact of George Floyd's his murder by the police once again.
Right.
I just want to ask you a quick question. Do athletes, and especially black athletes, have a responsibility to speak out about this police injustice or social injustice?
The athletes, black athletes. Should we focus on black athletes or are we talking athletes in general?
Athletes in general, and then if black athletes have a particular for you, then you can mention it. But athletes in general.
Whilst I believe it's important to use your platform in the most necessary way and to obviously tackle things like this, I'm pro-choice. You know, naturally, I'm a pro-choice sort of person. I believe everyone should have a choice regardless of the position that they're in. Obviously, athletes are people where cameras always on them. You know what I mean? They influence. They're the real life influencers. So forget Instagram. Athletes will be considered the real life influencers. Do they have a obligation or responsibility to speak on race? I don't think we should place an obligation on them. Reason being, there isn't any gatekeepers. There's no gatekeepers at the moment, yeah? And I'm going to talk about the UK. There isn't a gatekeeper to say to, all right, cool, what you're saying is bullshit, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Don't use your platform. Because the same way you can use a platform to get positive change, you can also use a platform to get the opposite as well. We get people like John Barnes. Come on, use his platform and spew his opinion, right or wrong. I don't agree with majority of the things that he says.
Let's call it the way it is. Nonsense. Some of the things that he says is absolute nonsense. But that's my opinion on his opinion. But
exactly. And you know what? That's the beauty of things in this world. We can all have an opinion and still coexist. I don't agree with majority. I can say majority, 99% of the things that he says, I don't agree with. You know, him as a person, he is who he is. His experiences has molded him to be able to have that sort of opinion. Now, that's not your reality. That's not my reality. So there lies a problem getting athletes to speak about subjects where they're not educated on. Okay, let's leave that to people that study these things, people that feel real passionate about it. Because I give you an example. When you was growing up and you were told to do something by your parents, something that you didn't particularly want to do, you didn't have a sort of, do you know what I mean? You didn't really want to do it. How did that make you feel?
I felt like I was being forced. And it wasn't something that came from the heart, but I just did it.
You just did it because you felt like you had to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the same thing that's going on with majority of these corporations that you're seeing. So just yesterday I was on the BBC speaking about something similar, basically race relations and the George Floyd, the UK protests and everything like that. And what you see is people are getting certain people on the show just to fill in a quota, to have a tick box. Yeah, we've done our part. Real change. We need real change. We need people that genuinely care about this to speak about it. Right. I was talking to someone, he plays hockey. He's actually on the national board of hockey in the UK. I don't know whatever it's called. I was speaking to him today, actually. And what he said to me was, so he was having a discussion and I was like, I don't know, the company that I'm working at, I don't know how to feel about the fact that they haven't said nothing about this whole Black Lives Matter thing or whatnot, and it's just literally work as usual. I don't really know how to feel, because on one hand there's anger, and on the other side there's like, surely you should cater for the people that cater for you. Do you get what I mean? So we're talking about it anyway, and he spoke about his experience and how earlier on this week, am I here, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry. Earlier on this week, they had to have a board meeting, and they basically copy and pasted something from another company, just a statement to say oh yeah, we denounce this behavior, rare. Is that going to bring about real change? Of course it's not. Just people doing it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the same situation, because it's like, if you now start to make it a thing where athletes now have to speak on certain things, it's like, you don't know who's genuine. You see what I'm saying? Let's not put an obligation on these people. They're footballers. Let them be footballers. A lot of footballers growing up, I mean, I know you know me. There's a lot of footballers that we know growing up that they weren't the brightest spark in academically. I'll be honest with you. Not to say they haven't gone and done wonders and caused waves in whatever they're doing, but academically speaking, they might not be the most clued up in terms of these subjects that we're speaking on. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's not force people to do things that they're not made for. They're not tailored for. You know what I'm saying? Of course, now the flip side is, of course, it'd be beautiful if you had someone that's going to speak on the adversity that they face, or empathize with people that are going through that. Of course, shine some light on it. But bro, let's be completely honest, yeah? What is change? What change do we want?
Well, you want to see, I think the first thing you want to do, you want to increase awareness. You want fairness, if that makes sense. We have
what's fair though? What is fair? Because
I mean, having the same rights as having fairness for me is having the same rights as your counterparts. If you're born in the exact same country, I don't understand why other people are treated differently to others. The reason why I'm talking about footballers is because Sancho, Declan Rice as well, in particular. Declan Rice spoke about it a long time. Obviously, he's not playing, so he couldn't, do his shirt. But he tweeted about it quite early on. Sancho used his platform, and then from then we've seen a few other footballers do it. We've seen.
There lies the problem. Sorry to cut you off there, but that goes to render my point valid there. You see what I'm saying? One person does it, now everyone's feeling awkward. Everyone else is feeling awkward. We don't know who's genuine with the messages that they're putting across. We don't know. Sancho, you can argue that because it could have even been the PR team that told him, mate, this would be great. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not taking away nothing from Sancho, because even him doing that is a step in the right direction. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. I think he Sancho, for me, is a bit different because he has got a track history. He has a track history of talking out.
Do you know him?
Personally.
Do you know him?
Personally. We've paddied once or twice. but that's gonna no. What I mean is, I think him, Raheem Sterling, they've had a history of speaking out. So I don't know what's going on in their camp. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and say that. I would think that something like that. I think Sancho, I assume, done it on his own merit.
Yeah, that's fine.
The reason why I was saying, do they have a responsibility is because we do have racist parents out there. We have some parents out there that keep their children, keep information away from particular people. For example, a racist person might keep what's going on in George Floyd away from their son. However, with the advent of social media, their son can see Sancho's tweets, see Rashford's tweets. And that is why I'm saying, do they have, you know what I mean? Because with social media now, we don't just go to the news.
I hear you, bro. We're in a generation, a society, actually, if I'm allowed to say, we're in a society that's now being merged into a society of just pure influence now. And what that means is, it's now more agenda over facts. That's the life that we're living right now, yeah? Agenda over facts. You're smiling. Why are you smiling? But yeah,
that's my nickname.
Yeah, but it is agenda over facts, and we have to admit that's what's winning at the moment. That's what's ruling the world. Now, in saying that, bro, you dropped a fantastic point. It's a great point you've made there, and I hope people really take that in, because when you're at a position of power, you influence a lot more people, right? Same way though, there isn't a rule. There isn't something stop. This is what I'm saying. If there was a gatekeeper, all right, cool. Growing up here, we're talking about, I'm going to come back to this point. Growing up, when we was doing, obviously, you learned about the civil rights. You go out of school, you do your own learning. Okay, you have to unlearn most of the things that you learn in school, then do your own learning, right? And then you learn about the people like Al Sharpton and all of these people that aren't really spoken about, you know. But these people were imperative in the fights for civil rights, right? If you're doing wrong, like, bro, you're getting called out. Do you get what I'm saying? If a footballer comes out now, yeah, in this day and age where money is now the medium in which power and success is judged on, yeah? If one footballer comes out now and he's in a relegation battle and talks something to a footballer that's got all the Nike deals, all the shirt sponsors, all the TV, all of these things now, whose influence is stronger? The point I'm making is, yeah, if you have two footballers, one's in a relegation scrap, and he says something that it's a bit, you're not really too sure how to take it, yeah? You're not really too sure. He spews some of the stuff that John Barnes says, okay? So the liberal in me will say everyone's allowed to voice an opinion, okay? And it's not down to me to judge whether it's right or wrong. And then you've got another footballer that now said something that you can identify a lot more with, okay? But it also contradicts what this player at the bottom might say. Who has got the bigger hold? Who has got the bigger influence? And I'm talking about the guy at the top of the Premier League that's got all the shirt sponsorships. Boohoo, he's even got Boohoo deals and all of these things there. Who's got a bigger influence?
It'd be the guy that's on the top of the league.
Don't do journalism with me. Who's got the biggest influence?
It'd be the guy that's towards the top of the league.
The guy at the top of the league. This is the point I'm trying to make now. Now, what if that guy roles are now switched now? It's still the same people, but the opinions are swapped now.
Okay.
Can you see the problem?
Yeah.
You see the problem, and that's where it's like we gotta walk before we can run. Let's do it one step at a time. Nobody has an obligation to do anything. Okay, the only obligation that they have is to play football because that's what they're contracted for. However, if you're educated in it, please educate others because that's the only way that we can win. We're playing a serious game here where injustice, people are looking away from injustice and people are more psyched up about, hold on, mate, coronavirus and totally ignoring 400 plus years. I don't know why people keep saying 400 years, but I'm going to say it anyway, but more than 400 years. Because let's be real, it's been going on for a long, long, long time, yeah? 400 plus years of adversity, mass murder, genocide, yeah? People will look away from that, but bring light to wait, mate, but you're not keeping 2 meters distance. But what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's more important? You know, that's the age that we're living in right now. So I think it's very, very we need to be very, very precarious with regards to the conversations that we're going to have, how we're going to educate people. Because what we see right now is a lot of people are doing things for the sake of doing things. Yeah. We need to fight for the right.
We've seen a few football players do it. We've seen a few athletes do it. And you know what? In fact, go on. I'll let you talk. Go on. Have you seen a few companies?
Go on.
Drew Brees, this is to you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know what it is with him. Obviously, he's done a lot of things good for New Orleans.
Talking about him?
Drew Brees, he's a New Orleans Saints quarterback.
Right. Is that the one that done the apology?
He's the one that did the apology right on cue.
Should I be swearing for him right now?
I don't feel sorry for him.
No, should I be swearing for him?
Oh well, let me tell you what happened. So yesterday, when talking to a reporter on Yahoo Finance, they asked him what's your opinions, and he said, what's your opinions on what's going on right now? The guy said, or something to that effect. He said, I will never agree with someone disrespecting the flag. Yeah, hear me out. In regards to George Floyd's, in regards to the protesting, he now added on that my grandfather and my father fought in the war, or my great grandfather fought in the World War II, and yada 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 along them lines. And then less than 24 hours later, has come out with an apology, going back to your point in regards to people are just coming out with just saying anything just to say it. Okay. Let me get this right.
You're angry right now.
Drew Brees on September 1st of 2016. Colin Kaepernick, yeah, September 1st of 2016, Colin Kaepernick kneeled, yeah, in protest to police brutality. This is not about disrespecting the flag, and this is the thing that is going to annoy me because people are changing the narrative. They're changing it, and it's turning to looting and well now, looting and rioting. Let me hear me out on one thing.
Whoa, Weezy. Finish your point, but let's come back.
Hold on, people are changing the narrative. Let's not forget, a man was murdered in cold blood by 4 officers.
But they're changing the narrative.
That's changing the narrative. That is changing the narrative.
I disagree, bro.
You know why it's changing the narrative? You know why it's changing the narrative? Because it's not about the flag.
Right.
It's not
about the looting.
Hence why I'm saying the media cover the looting more than the protesting.
Right, so you're saying the media is changing the narrative, not the people looting. I'm a bit confused.
It's a mix of both.
Please don't sit on the fence. Tell me which one you're.
It's a mix of both.
Tell me what you're saying.
For me, the media is the one that's changing the narrative. Okay. This is all coming from a man getting murdered. We all know the only reason why change happens is chaos. That's it. You look at wars, you look at the Boston Tea Party, you look at any most times there's change, chaos happens. And we look at a peaceful protest in Colin Kaepernick, he lost his job. Now people are looting and rioting for the same reason why this guy has knelt. I don't understand why he's changing the narrative for me. And for me, that is probably the most disgraceful and disrespectful thing that he's done. And in the last 24 hours, so let's get this right. Before I sorry to cut you in, I'm moving like Eddie yesterday. Before,
please leave Eddie Nestor out of this.
Let's get this right. In 2016, you said I will never stand for anybody disrespecting the flag. In 2020, you feel the same way. In 4 years. Yet, in less than 24 hours, you have all of a sudden come around and now you understand why people are kneeling and protesting. You're taking a piss.
Yeah, no, it was funny because I thought you was trying to go left with that changing the narrative thing, and I was ready. I was coming for your neck. Yeah, I'm trying to say. Reason being, there's something going around in the media, and Eddie tried to. The BBC yesterday, they tried to come at me for it. They tried to walk me down. And I wasn't really too happy.
They say you're too radicalized. They say you're too radicalized.
Bro, they didn't want to hear the truth. The truth will set them free. But it's cool, bro. It's cool. Do you know why it's cool, bro? Yeah. We're in a generation, where everything's captured on camera. The revolution will be televised, bro. No word of a lie. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Even if, I'm not going to turn radical, but even if we are going to rise from the ashes of destruction. I'm being real. Stop making me laugh. Big man thing. Because what's going on right now, it's an embarrassment. People have changed the narrative from, like you said, murders. These are murders, bro. Because it's really boiling my blood when they say died of this. No, this is not natural death. This is not natural death. And this is what they tried to stop me from saying yesterday as well. No, they really tried to stop me from saying this yesterday when I told them, police officers murdered Sean Rigg. Police officers murdered Dalen Atkinson on the football team. Dalen Atkinson, you know?
Yeah.
He played for Villa and City and whatnot. Yeah. And he died in the hands of the police as well. You know? Joy Gardner, all these people in the UK have died from in the hands of police. So it's like, hold on, how are we taking how are we taking it away from that? But focusing on looting, bro. Let me tell you why it's important to not condemn these people looting. Okay, although naturally you'd say it was wrong because you're destroying businesses, but bro, we're trying to build an empire through empathy. That's what black people are trying to do right now. Yeah, we're trying to build an empire through empathy, or we've tried anyway. We've tried to build it through empathy. I don't know. Success is it's a subjective thing. Whether or not it's been successful is down to you as individuals, and it's down to myself to make up my own mind. But I'll tell you what's true. Right, 400 years, we've done all of this. We've showed love. Yeah, we showed love. We've been quiet, bro. We've sat at the back. We've walked. We've sat at the back of buses. We've been calm. We've done everything that they've told us to do. They've told us it's gonna take time, right? It's taking my time. I ain't seen no change. My dad's time. My dad's time. My dad's time. Everybody. But I tell you what's so crazy. The simple fact that a headline from today. What's the date today, my boy? Let me not say that I don't know when you're gonna post this.
It's the 4th of June.
The 4th of June. We can copy and paste the headline from the 4th of June, copy and paste it to 5 years ago, and it'll be relevant. 10 years ago, it'd be relevant. 15, 20, 30. Go as long as you want, it'd still be relevant. Black people are still getting killed at a crazy rate. Black people are still being disproportionately represented in the criminal justice system. Ain't nothing changed, right? Cool. The looting, why shouldn't we condemn them too much? Why shouldn't we go hard on them? Bro, we've peacefully protested. Right? We've peacefully protested. Where's that got us? More people dying, bro. You feel me? Now people are now desensitized to watching a man murder someone for 8 to 10 minutes. Right? That's not normal.
Sorry, not to cut you off. I'm gonna let you go. Let's deep it. We're seeing these things on Instagram and Twitter.
Bro, it's there. It's there. Now you're telling me people have to investigate a murder that was captured on camera. What's there to investigate, bro?
This is obviously a sports show. We already know you're going to come back. Obviously, when you're free to, you come back on and we'll talk about obviously the Arsenal situation. But we also see it in Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil spoke out a few times.
That was ridiculous.
He spoke out a few times online on several situations. And we all see all these sponsorships his major sponsorship has gone. Now, in regards to sports, I do want to see athletes. Obviously, I think the media does a good job in tearing down athletes in general. Especially in the UK, not just blacks, but they do it a lot they give leeway to white athletes. They give a big leeway because I'll be honest with you, let me just point is if Raheem Sterling did half the thing that Jack Grealish did, and I love Jack Grealish. Trust me, I do. Yeah, he's a baller. He's a top baller. But if Raheem Sterling did half the stuff that Jack Grealish has done, I tell you what, I don't think he'd be in Man City any much longer.
Bro, he'd have his head on the stick. They'd have Sterling's head on the stick.
So I also think that the media hold back these. Let's be honest, because that's the main reason. Not
your truth, bro.
I personally think that's the main reason, yeah, because certain athletes are going to be like, you know what, I don't want to be the next target. We've seen it on several platforms when they speak to people from our backgrounds or different backgrounds, and they say, oh, when the media targets you, you're done for, you're sitting duck, you're finished. We've seen it countless times. So no athlete wants to be that, no football player or sports player wants to be that guy. But this is, for change to happen, the media needs to actually change itself. You can't be ready to bring down the athletes that are actually wanting to make a change.
A change is coming. A change will come. How will this change come? A common misconception is that this change has to come from black people. Let's not get it twisted. Racism is not a black problem to solve. In what world do the oppressed have to have the burden on proof? How do we move forward from this? We move forward simply by white people stop being racist. I really do appreciate this. This platform, obviously. I always say to you, bro, what you're doing, it's amazing. 3 Points TV, shout out you lot.
I'm pioneer space.
Pioneer space to the world and back, bro.
Quickly, just say what Pioneer Space is for them that don't know.
Yeah. Pioneer Space is basically a social enterprise and promoting everything black, bro. Black people that are looking to make real changes, black people that are going against the norm in creating their own businesses. Because, bro, let's be real. Racism has forced black people to be entrepreneurs. Let's be real, bro. Racism, this racism has forced us to be entrepreneurs, but it's cool because it's given us a new calling. You see what I'm saying to you? Let's do what we can do. You know, we need people like yourselves. We need people like Daily Sounds. We need people that are looking to make a real change, bro. However small it is, we need everybody to play their part. And that's what Pioneer Space is. So we've got a lot of podcasts coming through. Like I said, it's a social enterprise, so it's not just the podcast stuff. We've got workshops with schools, workshops with youth clubs, that you know we're looking to get into. We've got a few lined up. Yeah, it's great, bro. It's great, bro. Please feel free to follow us at Pioneer Space. We need as much support as we can get. We need to become the change that we wish to we hope to see. You know, and it's very, very possible. It's very, very possible. So shout out 3 Points and what you're doing as well, because you feed into everything Pioneer Space is about. You're pioneer in your own respect.
Thank you, brother, man. Make sure you keep doing them big moves. Obviously, the change comes from within. As soon as we feel empowered, let's make the change so our generations can see it. In regards to going, because we, you know, on the 3 Point Show, we never ever stray off topic. We only give you facts and knowledge. Athletes, people, influencers, not the ones that just take pics. People speak out. Yeah, don't be afraid for the media. I'm talking. In fact, let me take it off. I don't even care about influencers. This is not the platform for them. Sports people, athletes, do not be afraid to use your voice. Not just on this occasion.
Please,
not just on this occasion.
Please put a PS there, please, in the right way.
Yeah, obviously in the right way.
Can't have people just talking rubbish, man.
Another thing, if you are not informed, if I'm not informed, I don't say anything. If you're not informed, please don't, because it can get embarrassing. But
I'll draw them out.
If your heart's in the right place, please don't be afraid of the Daily Mail, the Sun, and so on and so forth. They can't hurt you. The real know and the real remember. This is where Mike's from the 3 Point Show. We got Fowers from Pioneer Space. Make sure you follow and do make sure you subscribe. I forgot to say that at the beginning, I believe. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.